We're in the Eleanor Davis Coley Lecture Theatre at the Royal College of Surgeons of England, Lecture Room 2, as we call it. This room was installed in 2004. And it had some very basic equipment like 35mm slide projection and some very basic data projection systems. Now, it was upgraded in 2004, but this year and last year, 2015, 2016, we've done some work in-house to make the system better, and we had some help from our integrator as well. So we had a very limited budget though, so we couldn't spend too much money. With Project 2020 taking place in 2017, that's next year, we didn't want to spend too much money because it's going to get knocked down next year, so of course it wasn't worth spending too much money. So what we did is we tried to keep as much of the old infrastructure and system as possible, and we kept a lot of the furniture and some of the other stuff that I'm going to show you. So this is the old boardroom table, but we did have a hole cut in it, and we had a joiner come in to put all this system in so we could mount this confidence monitor in the table. We increased the number of microphones from 2 to 4. We also kept the old lectern, but we cut a hole in it so we could put this touchscreen control in here, and we did all the branding, all the logos and icons, and all of this was done in-house. We did it all as vector diagrams, gave that to our programmer, who put that into Extron backend so that it could all be put onto this touchscreen here. Lecture Room 2 is a self-run room, so it has to be very easy to operate, and we thought that doing it in this way with very simple icons would make it easier for the end user. So we've got basic control here, keyboard and mouse, and underneath we have the desktop computer, which is a resident computer, and some switching and Cat5 conversion. Very simple system, but it works very nicely. Moving around the room, you can see we've got the speakers here on the wall. Now, we were limited with where we could put the speakers because some of the walls are solid and some of them not. So this bit of trunking was already here. We mounted the speaker on the closest bit of solid wall we could, and we used the trunking that was already there for our cable run, which went above the roof. So if we go to the booth now, I'll show you the booth. Okay, so in the booth, we've got the new rack, which is half the size that it used to be. It used to be a very big rack. We've reduced the size so it's much more comfortable for an operator to sit in here if they have to be in here. And obviously on top of the rack, we've got the Livestream HD51 system. Now this is a webcasting system. It's also a production mixer, a graphics picture-in-picture overlay system. You can do all kinds of things like lower thirds, text and so on. It's very, very useful. But that sits there. On the rack we've got all the inputs, routing, all the patching, we've got the radio microphones, the switching gear. There's an audio mixer in here which is controlled via the laptop. So on the laptop we've got the controls for the audio mixer. We can also IP into a lot of the other kit that's in here. And we've got lots of input and output routing on the mixer. We can set different mixes for the hearing loop system or for the patching on the rack, so we can send different mixes to the live stream. And obviously you've got the room set up. We've got control of the desktop computer in the lectern, and that's all going over IP over Cat5 as well. So if we want to, we can go in, we can load up the presentations for presenters, which is quite useful. But it's quite a simple system. It is designed to be self-run, but it allows us to man the event if we have to, if we're doing a webcast or a broadcast of any kind. So I'm just going to show you some of the patching we've got as well. As I said, we do a lot of filming in here. Conference filming is one of our most popular services, and you can see here that we've got HD SDI and HDMI connections which go above the roof here. And there's a couple of these in the room. It just makes it easier for us to put cameras in without having to lay extra cables. We're just going to have a look at the projector. You can't really see a shot from here, but it's a new HD projector. It's an Iki HD projector, and we've got Cat5 and HDMI going to that projector. So again, it allowed us to put a wider image on the screen. We've got a new screen on the wall there, which is much, much bigger than the last one. We can do 16:9 or 4:3, and it doesn't really, you don't notice it so much. You can see it on the screen, but you don't notice there's a border around the edge for 4:3, and then a wider image for 16:9 or a smaller, vice versa. So that works quite well. We did all the installation of the cable in-house. We ran the cables over the top of the roof because we knew that had been surveyed for asbestos. There is a known asbestos issue in this room, certainly under the floor and under the stage. So laying cables there, whether by us or by a contractor, was definitely not going to be permitted in any way. There's also asbestos behind the walls, so we weren't allowed to drill into the walls or anything like that. So the in-house team circumvented this issue by laying the cables in areas that we knew had been surveyed, and we were approved to do so. And then we came down the side of the window with all trunking, and we did that to try and camouflage the installation so it didn't look messy. It's not ideal, but due to Project 2020 taking off next year, we didn't really want to spend too much money because it was going to be knocked down in 2017. But yeah, that's Lecture Room 2. We're quite pleased with it. Works very well, self-run, works excellently. Clients don't have to call us that often. Thank you.